The wind howled through the broken shutters of Perdition Creek, a forgotten outpost tucked between jagged mesas and lonely pines. Winter had come early, cruel and biting, turning the red dirt roads into icy veins that cut through the heart of town. The saloon was half empty, its piano silent. Folks had holed up in their cabins, hoarding what little warmth they could. Marshal Eli Cutter sat alone at the bar, nursing his coffee with a shot of rye. He wasn't a drinking man, but some days the ghost pressed him too close. 6 years ago, he'd hung up his outlaw guns after the Rose Ridge massacre. These days, he wore a tin star and tried to keep peace in a place that barely clung to the notion. He was about to leave when the church bell rang twice, the signal for trouble. Eli stood so fast his stool clattered to the floor. Outside, snow was thick as wool. A figure staggered down Main Street, crumpled near the church steps. Eli bolted, boots crunching the ice, and dropped to his knees beside the fallen shape. It was a girl, barely more than a child. Blood soaked through the front of her dress. Her face was ghostly pale, lips tinged blue. "My God," he whispered. Her eyes fluttered open. "Help, the baby." Then she moaned, clutched her belly, and Eli understood. She was in labor. Chapter 2, Pretend, just for tonight. Doc Grady worked fast, his hand steady even as the girl screamed through the pain. The upstairs room in the boarding house was stifling, fire crackling in the hearth, sweat beading Eli's brow as he paced. "First baby," the doc said low, "and she's young. Might not make it." Eli's jaw clenched. "She said anything yet?" "Her name." "No. Keeps whispering something about someone chasing her. She's scared." Eli went to her side as another contraction hit. She gripped the sheets, tears streaking her cheeks. When it passed, she blinked up at him. "Oh, him, ain't you?" "Him!" Her hand trembled as she reached out. "The man who helped me. My baby. He needs a name. A pa. Just for now. Pretend. Please." Eli didn't hesitate. He took her hand. "All right. I'll be his pa. You have my word." Her face relaxed for the first time since she collapsed. And a few long, harrowing minutes later, a newborn's cry echoed in the room. "A boy," Doc said, wrapping the child in a towel. The girl smiled weakly. "His name's Jesse. Like the wind." And then she passed out cold. Chapter 3. Her name was Lottie. She slept for 2 days. Eli stayed close, holding the baby when he cried, feeding him goat's milk warmed on the stove. The whole town whispered, wondering what a marshal was doing playing nursemaid to a girl he'd never seen before. On the 3rd day, her eyes opened again. She looked fragile, too young for the burdens fate had shoved on her. "Name's Lottie," she said. "Lottie Mae Thatcher." Eli sat by her bed, Jesse swaddled in his arms. "You got anyone looking for you?" he asked gently. Her face darkened. "Yeah, but not the kind that'd bring flowers." She told him in pieces. A rancher's daughter, Lottie had run off with a charming drifter who promised marriage. Instead, he sold her to a brothel in Abilene. She escaped in the dead of night, pregnant, barefoot, riding a stolen mule westward until the animal died in the snow. "They'll come for me," she whispered. "Men like that, they don't let go." Eli knew the type. He'd ridden with men like that once. "You're safe here," he said, "so long as I'm breathing." Chapter 4. Firelight and Fences. Winter thawed slow, but the snow melted eventually, giving way to the red clay of spring. Eli gave Lottie a room in the marshal's cabin just outside town. Folks frowned at the arrangement, but he didn't care. Lottie worked hard, mending clothes and helping at delivery. Jesse thrived. His cries became coos, his fingers gripped tighter each day. Eli taught her to shoot. "Ain't right for any woman to be defenseless," he said, handing her his spare colt. She took to it quick. He also taught her to ride. She took to that even quicker. At night, when Jesse was asleep, they sat by the fire. Sometimes they talked. Sometimes they didn't need to. "You ever love someone, Eli?" she asked one night. He stared into the flames. "I did once. She died because of a choice I made." "I'm sorry." "I ain't," he said. "It made me the man I had to become." Lottie touched his hand. "You don't scare me. Not like most men do." He looked at her then, really looked. "You ain't a girl anymore, Lottie. You become someone mighty strong." She smiled, soft and unsure. "Only 'cause someone believed I could." Chapter 5. Riders at Dusk. It was June when the trouble rode in. 3 men, dusty coats, empty eyes. They asked questions of the saloon, sniffed around the blacksmith, even knocked on the church door. Eli saw them from the roof of the jailhouse and felt something old stir in his chest. Danger, coiled like a rattler. That night, he loaded his rifles and saddled 2 horses. "You got 5 minutes to grab Jesse in your boots," he told Lottie. She didn't argue. She just looked him in the eye. "We're running, aren't we?" "No," he said. "We're drawing them out." They rode east, to the box canyons near Ridge Hollow, the place where Eli had once made his outlaw bones. He knew the land like he knew the lines on his palms. They camped behind a stone ridge, close enough to see the trail. Jesse fussed, and Lottie rocked him, her arms gentle but strong. Eli built a small fire, crouched beside it. "If anything happens," he told her, "you take Jesse and head north to Blue Water. Look for a woman named Hattie Griggs. She owes me." "Don't talk like that," Lottie said. "You're gonna be fine." But Eli knew better. Some debts didn't stay buried. Chapter 6. Redemption by Bullet. The men came just before dawn. Eli stood in the open, rifle in hand, hat low over his brow. The snow had long since melted, but the cold in the air was real. "Well, look who it is," the lead man sneered. "Eli Cutter. Thought you died in Rose Ridge." "Wishful thinking, Jeb." The 3 dismounted, guns half-drawn. "We just want the girl," said Jeb. "You can walk away." Eli didn't move. "She's under my protection. You'll have to go through me." "I reckon we will." Gunfire exploded like thunder. Eli dropped one man with a shot to the gut, rolled behind a boulder. A bullet grazed his shoulder. Blood bloomed across his sleeve. Lottie cried out from behind the ridge. "Eli!" He shouted back, "Stay down!" Jeb rushed forward, shotgun raised, but Eli was faster. One shot, clean through the chest, dropped him to the dirt. The last man turned to flee, but a second crack rang out. Lottie stood at the top of the ridge, Eli's spare Colt smoking in her hands. She'd taken the shot. Chapter 7. A Family Forged. Eli's wound was shallow. Doc said it would scar, but he'd live. The bodies were buried near the canyon. No one came to claim them. In town, folks changed their tune. They saw Lottie as more than a girl in trouble. They saw her as a woman who stood by the marshal, who didn't flinch when the bullets flew. Months passed. Jesse grew chubby and bold, waddling behind Eli's boots like a shadow. Lottie braided her hair back and held her head high. The haunted look in her eyes faded. On a warm August morning, under a sky clear as glass, Eli stood beside her in the church. They spoke no vows, just held hands while Reverend Dean said the words. Jesse tugged at Eli's coat during the prayer. Eli picked him up and whispered, "You all right, son?" The boy grinned and nodded.